I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be go for the kiss, not a hug. One of the most important things that you got to remember when you take a girl out on a date is at the end of the date, say you're taking her and dropping her off at her house and you walk her to her front door, you want to go for a kiss. You want to kiss her on the lips. Why? There's two reasons. Number one, you want to see if she kisses you back. And number two, you want to see if instead of kissing you back, she gives you her cheek. Because if she gives you her cheek, then it means that she has low romantic interest in you. Or it could also mean that she's totally structured and set in her ways and rigid. And this is the type of woman that just won't respond. She'll fight her feelings because she believes she's got to show up a certain way. And that kind of woman, you don't want her either. So what happens is if you go to kiss a girl and she kisses you back, obviously it means that she has mutual romantic interest in you. But if you go to kiss her and you get her cheek, then you know that she's just thinking friends or she just doesn't have a real high interest in you. So there's absolutely no point in calling her again or asking her out for a date. Now, what I used to do when I was younger and I didn't know this stuff is I'd start taking out women. I'd go out 3, 4, 5 dates, whatever it was, and I'd finally go for the kiss, thinking, hey, I've warmed her up. Go for the kiss, and I end up getting her cheek, and I'm thinking, fuck, I wasted. I mean, you figure you take, because I'd like to take a girl out to a nice place. We get a bottle of wine or something. You go to a nice restaurant. I mean, you're easy, $100 without even batting an eyelash. And you imagine going on 4 or 5 dates, blowing $100 each time. Finally, in the 5th date, you work up the courage to kiss the girl, and she turns her head, and you're thinking, oh. And then you realize he blew $500 plus what, a dozen or so, 15 hours maybe, on dates with her of your life you'll never get back. I mean, that'd be pretty fucking frustrating. So the idea is you want to go out on one date, go for the kiss. If she doesn't kiss you back, then you know she's not a candidate. You just move on to the next one. But if you go out and you go for the hug, I mean, because when a woman goes on a date and the guy hugs her, she thinks, oh, he's not interested in me romantically. He only thinks of me as a friend. And so one of two things is going to happen. Especially when a woman can tell that you like her, but then you hesitate or you don't go for the kiss, she's going to perceive you as being too weak and lacking confidence, and therefore you're being unworthy. And she thinks, oh, well, maybe he'd be a great friend or maybe a great male girlfriend, but definitely not boyfriend material. That's the way she looks at it. So that's why it's important to be direct and go for you want, because I got an email here from a guy who, I mean, he's doing the same kind of crap that I used to do. He met this particular gal back in 2004, and while he was going to college, and he had a crush on her back then. And so for whatever reason, he's kind of stayed in contact, I guess through Facebook or whatever, off and on. They don't really talk very much, but he's basically been carrying this torch around for 8 years. And the worst part is now he's gone out on 2 dates with her, and instead of kissing her, he goes for the hug. And so he's scratching his head, wondering where he stands, whereas if he'd just gone for the kiss on the first date, he would have known. And now, like 2 months have gone by since the last time, or about 5 weeks, I think it is, since he went out with her. And now he's still scratching his head. I mean, that's the kind of thing that when it happens, you're wondering, where do I stand? It makes it hard to move on to a new woman or other women if you're only fixated on this one particular gal. So he brings up some good things here. He basically says, obviously met her in college, and he started through Facebook asking her, hey, I got some free tickets to your favorite country band. And he waited 3 days for her to respond, because I guess the concert was like in 4 or 5 days. And so after the 3rd day, he didn't hear from her. He invited somebody else, which is very smart. That's what you want to do. And then like on the 4th day, she says, oh, I definitely want to go. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. When I didn't hear back, I invited somebody else. But hey, maybe next time. And so this went back and forth for a while. But what happens, what he says here is that it was more than one occasion he tried to get her to do something by saying, hey, I got free tickets, I got this, that. And she would either not get back to him or she'd take her time getting back to him. By the time she finally got back to him, he'd already invited somebody else, which is smart. It's the way they handle it. But the thing that I think is ignoring is the fact that she's not really enthusiastic. I mean, maybe she was dating another guy. I mean, who knows? But it didn't show that she was very enthusiastic about seeing him. So he says, about a month ago, I invited her to do something and she turned me down, but she countered and invited me to dinner. And that's a good sign because she's inviting you to do something at night, dinner, romance. That's, that shows me. Plus, she asked for a counteroffer. She brought it up. She said, oh, I can't then, but hey, how about we go to dinner next week or whenever it happened to be. So that's great. So he went and he says he had a great time, caught up on life since college. Dinner lasted about 2.5 hours. Quick serve, sushi bar. I was a perfect gentleman, let her do 60-70% of the talking, and was relaxed as if she was just a friend. During the course of conversation, we talked about future plans. I told her I'll be enlisting in the Air Force in September, and she responded with, well, it's not like a deal breaker, or, oh God, oops, and she blushed. Now that tells me that in that particular moment, she was feeling something. She was feeling a connection. She was obviously feeling some romantic feelings or attracted to you because she brought this up. In other words, she's saying, oh, I'm kind of thinking about you as a potential guy that I could date or whatever, or that maybe we could date. And what you should have said was, oh, don't be shy, honey. Why don't you bring those beautiful little lips over here and give me a big kiss? And just say something sweet like that. Because in that moment, she's communicating interest to you. And as I like to say, 10% of the time, you're the kid that flushes the M80 down the toilet. And so when she says something like that, it's like you want to see if you can take it a little bit further. She's basically communicating interest and blushing about it. And then you just say, oh, don't be shy, honey. Just come over here and kiss me. That's all you got to say. And just look at her. Look at her lips when you say that. And then back into her eyes. And at her lips and then her eyes again. And she'll look at your lips and she'll come over and she'll kiss you. And that is a total missed opportunity right there. But that's why you got to pay attention. And that's why you also got to read my book 10 to 15 times, because if you knew the material that well, I mean, you could react right away, go for the kiss when she's communicating a level of interest. But what happens is you say that, and then you kind of ignore it like it's no big deal. He said, so his response to this, he says, she was cute when she did it too. I ended by picking up the tab and made a joke about she could pay me back by taking me to a concert if she wanted to. The way you say that, that's like a friend kind of thing. If you want to, I mean, of course she's going to want to. I mean, right there, you're communicating weakness. Instead of going for the kiss and making out and escalating things, and maybe if you'd had another place or two lined up afterwards, you could have said, hey, let's go cross the street and grab a drink or whatever. And just continued on if you'd have gone for the kiss there right at dinner. But so he walks her outside, and he ends the date in the parking lot with a slightly awkward semi-side hug kind of thing. And so the problem is now he walks away from that not knowing if she's really interested. So he says, I wait the 3 agonizing days, like you say, and texted her a follow-up to her saying I had a great time with her and we'd have to get together again soon. Well, like I said, you didn't pay attention to what was in the book because you don't know the material that well. And the fact that you said that, I mean, you only use the phone for making dates. You don't call, you don't send her a text or a message, hey, just wanted to let you know I had a great time the other night. What you should be saying, hey, I had fun the other night. When are you free next week so we can get together for dinner again? Question mark. That's all you had to say. And then you could have planned a date for the following week. That would have been great. But, again, another missed opportunity. You got to be sharp, man. You got to be in your game. You got to know this stuff. Because you're making totally unnecessary mistakes. And it looks like you're probably blowing your chances here totally unnecessarily because you just simply don't know what to do. Or I say your approach and your game is not where it needs to be because you haven't been practicing this stuff. And that's what happens. You get fixated on one girl and you don't pay attention to anybody else. And so you're not, while you're waiting and wondering and contemplating about her, the days and weeks are going by. And you should be interacting with other women that improves your skills and your success, but you didn't do that. And so he basically says 5 weeks have gone by, and I guess he texted her one other time to ask her, or no, he called her, let me think here. He says, so he waits 3 days, and he says, oh, okay, so he sends her a text to ask her out again. Or no, he calls, she doesn't answer, and he just hangs up, doesn't leave a message. And he doesn't hear from her. So, like I said, the problem is that you didn't go for it when the opportunity was totally ripe, and she may have judged you as being weak, or maybe she thought, hey, you were just interested in her as a friend. Maybe she thought, oh, maybe I just misread this guy. So what I would do if I were you, I would just send her a text and say, hey, when are you free? Oh, what evenings do you know you're free the next few weeks? I'd like to take you to dinner again, ? Send her that, and she'll respond, oh, I'm available Tuesday and the 20th at, I'll be free that evening, or whatever it happens to be. And you say, great, how about I pick you up at 8 o'clock? We'll go to dinner. Wear something nice, or wear something casual. We're going to do something fun. Simple as that. Make a definite date. And then the next time you go on a date with her, go for a kiss at the end of the date. Or if she's doing some of the things like I talk about in my book, which you got plenty of time to review it, and so you can learn the little subtle cues to look for, body language, touching, because this girl, on more than one occasion, it appears that she's communicated interest to you, and you haven't recognized the signs, and you just totally missed the opportunity. And it's obviously causing her to lower her interest in you. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button, and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. If you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of email from my coaching customers. And I obviously got to focus on my paying phone coaching customers first, but be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you'd like to talk to me right away so I can help you with a specific challenge or situation you're having, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session with yours truly. And I shall talk to you soon.